Sarah Edmonds, everybody, who
Hello,
runs the
thank
Chipping.
you.
You run Art Cotswolds. You also run the Chipping Campden Gallery. Explain to me
Yeah,
the
no, I work at, I'm gallery manager at Art Cotswold, which is a
Okay,
new gallery opened in Chipping Campden.
right. Okay. So Art Cotswold is the name of the gallery itself. Okay,
Exactly,
fine.
exactly. Yes.
And can you tell me about the gallery?
Yes, we opened in June. So we're a very new gallery. It's owned by quite an established artist called Jeremy Houghton, who has been an artist in residence for the Queen at Windsor Castle and Highgrove and so on. So it's quite relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he owns this gallery, but yeah, so we've only been open 3 months. The premise is to exhibit Cotswold artists only. So that's our USP, but also beyond that, we're taking a slightly different gallery model, not the traditional model, but more of a collective.
Okay. And so you've got, tell me a little bit about the different artists you've got exhibiting. You've got sculptors, you've got painters.
We've got 12 artists. Our aim is to keep our number of artists to probably 15 maximum in any one year, so that we can give them, our best representation. Not have sort of masses of artists and not be able to work on their behalf effectively. And then it's a collective in the way that we're trying to build a bit of a community. Actually, last night we had all the artists here so that because they're all from the same region, they're able to connect and build their own relationships. Being an artist is quite a solitary occupation, so it's really great for us to be able to put them together so they're able to network, and we can also mentor and help them, and we're acting as their agents effectively. So, but yes, we've got 12 artists at the moment. We've got a woodblock printmaker, we've got traditional painters in all mediums, watercolor, oil, acrylic, we've got ceramicists, we've got painting in all different styles, landscape, abstract, so we got a real variety, as you can see.
And yes, and is the idea that you are kind of representative of the Cotswolds as a region?
I'm not sure we can sort of hang our hat on representing the region, but but we wanted to one of our main aims was to build a community, and we're from the Cotswolds, we love it here, there's so much talent in this region that spans, it's actually quite a bigger region than you might imagine. It spans all the way from Bath to Broadway. And also we're kind of following in the footsteps of our predecessors, the big arts and crafts movement, which is key to somewhere like Chipping Campden. I don't know if you know about that, but in the early 1900s, about 50 guildsmen left the East End of London and brought all their families with them. So 50, hundreds of people and came to Chipping Campden and set up to build a better life here and brought all those skills here. So that arts and crafts movement here is part of our heritage. So we're kind of standing on the shoulders of those guys too.
I see. So that's kind of the precedent.
Yeah. It's an inspiration in any case. And as you mentioned, there's some important guilds here in Chipping Campden. There's the Guild for Silversmiths, still in the same building when they arrived in the early 1900s. The pre-Raphaelites were here, William Morris and so on, Kelmscott Manor, and that's on our doorstep. So yeah, we want to kind of take a slightly different approach in building a collective rather than the kind of traditional gallery model, which we want to do it in a more dynamic and supportive way.
And is the art on display meant to be kind of reflective of the history, or making reference to the landscape?
Yeah, we do. Well, it's not representative of the history, but so our Cotswold artists, you know, paint in a variety of themes and mediums. But some of our, we've just taken on a photographer actually who does take photographs of all sorts of things, but some of them are iconic Cotswold scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our painters do inevitably paint, are inspired by nature, and there are more kind of traditional oil landscape scenes of the Cotswolds. So there are Cotswolds themes that our visitors, and you know, they can purchase that, but then there's a lot more beyond that.
When you say they're working as a community, are they kind of cross-pollinating as well?
Well, yeah, interestingly, so I'm glad you mentioned that. We have our first exhibition happening in mid-November, and it's called Icon, which is kind of funny considering the last few days and our iconic queen.
Mm-hmm.
So we've tasked them with this theme, and they will present a couple of works of art on that theme. So it'll be interesting to see if we have any royal themes there. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, we're going to host some joint shows all across the year, all across 2023. So we've paired put our artists into pairs, and we've asked them so they have the gallery for 2 months, these pairs, which is a wonderful opportunity for them. But we've asked them to work on a painting or you know, an artwork together. Mm-hmm. As a pair. So that's going to be really interesting and exciting. Yeah. Because I don't know of any other. I think that's quite an unusual proposition. So it'll be really interesting. And I think that takes some of the artists right out of their comfort zone, but they're all really happy with the idea. They're all really, really kind of keen to, I think it's going to really help them progress and explore creatively, and working with another artist on the same canvas. That'd be really interesting to see what happens there.
That will be interesting. That will be interesting. And can I ask a little bit about your background as well?
Yeah, sure. I've worked in arts marketing for a long time now, 15 years or so. I got into PR and marketing, and then, you know, my passion is fine art and art history. So I have molded my career around that. So I've been able to promote artists and work in the art industry all that time. It's quite a niche industry, but it's a lovely industry to work in. So yeah.
And did you paint as a child yourself? I mean, are you also a practical artist?
I do paint. I have aspirations to exhibit my work here at some point.
Okay.
I'm an amateur. I'm not a professional artist in any way. I did study Italian and history of art and fine art at the Slade. That was my university degree. So I have had some training in it. I'm a little bit time poor at the moment. That's my excuse, but I surround myself with creatives and inspiring artists all the time, so I'm not short of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very fired up by the idea of these different art forms coming together. I mean, the Cusp, which is the magazine that I run, is all about kind of cross-fertilization. Different art forms fusing together. So I guess with quite a focus on music, because that's the discipline that I know most about. I'm a music journalist primarily. Mm-hmm. So I'm always interested in kind of events which mix music with other art forms, with visual arts. There's a bit of me that does want to ask if there is ever going to be a musical component to what you do.
I'm a huge music fan as well. I mean, I'm just so thrilled that we work in these industries, that this culture sector. It's just amazing. Where would we be without it? Music's just a constant. Well, interestingly enough, we had all of our artists here for an evening together last night, and one of our artists is a professional jazz singer. So we were talking to her about that, and it's just amazing. It's just so wonderful. She's So she's studying for a master's at St Martin's, you know, as a mature student. She's doing printmaking, painting, singing on the side, you know, it's like so much creation in her life, just wonderful. So yeah, we were saying we must get you to sing for us at one of our exhibitions or events or something.
Because there's so much scope for the multimedia events, you know, and multisensory works, and it feels like you're kind of going in that direction.
Yeah. Oh, we're really open to any and all of that. Also, one of our sculptors, a ceramicist here, she her bowls, I can't show you, but her bowls are beautiful, sort of hand built with raku clay. Some are porcelain, some are, anyway, so you can have lights in them and they have this amazing glow, but they also kind of double up as sound bowls. So she does a lot of music in that. So that, yeah, certainly multi-sensory, but also with the kind of light. And so for our icon show in mid-November, we're going to have a sort of huge display of, I don't know, as many of her bowls as we can, all lit, sort of very dark gallery space, just with our works of art pin lit, you know, by pin lights, you know, and this glow. And I absolutely agree with you, you know, it should be an exciting multi-sensory experience.
Yeah, and I guess as someone, I mean, you know, when I go to the Cotswolds, I go there on holiday, you know, and I think probably the same applies to a lot of people. They go to the Cotswolds, when they think of the Cotswolds, they think of chocolate box, really, don't they? That is I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I was asking about, you know, the number of galleries that there are already in the Cotswolds, because it's maybe not something that would occur to a lot of people going to visit the area, unless they happen to already live there or have a lot of knowledge of the cultural scene there. So I suppose in that way, I guess what you're trying to do is really very pioneering, and it kind of maybe helps to redefine the area a little bit, to help people to think of it as somewhere that is quite forward thinking.
Yeah. I think that can be a bit of a stigma, or living somewhere so beautiful. We're so lucky with this beauty, but I think we're able to bridge that divide between the old and the new. Our gallery is one of the oldest buildings in Chipping Campden. It's 16th century. Beautiful old beamed building, but with very, very contemporary artwork. I don't know, you can see. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it has these beautiful beams inside and out. Yeah,
you can see this lovely, beautiful. So it's kind of marrying old world and new, and I think that's good. And that's, you know, as I mentioned, you know, this amazing legacy we have, this amazing history of arts and crafts, you know, and they were really pioneering, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the pre-Raphaelites were doing all sorts of naughty things, you know. They were, you know, they were hugely pioneering with some really radical ideas. And we're not proposing to be radical, but I think we're we just want to do something really exciting and put some energy behind it, you know. But that's not to say that, you know, there's you know, some lovely traditional work that we're selling that's, you know, hugely popular. But just to kind of mix it up a bit, and to take our artists on a bit of a journey, and help them, you know, develop their careers, really, maybe take them in directions that they hadn't considered.
Okay, well, lastly, just before we finish, can I just ask a little bit more about the history of the building? I think you already touched on it.
Yes, well, we need to know more, really. But yeah, it's apparently one of the oldest in the town. I don't know anything more beyond that.
You don't know, was it residential or whether?
Oh, before it was a gallery, it was a delicatessen.
Okay.
and a bakery. And we still have people coming in to ask for croissants and things.
Really?
Yes, which is very sweet.
Wow, you'd think the display in the window would be a bit of a giveaway.
But I live quite nearby, and I was interested to find out about my own home, you know, again, in this area. But it was apparently visited by Dante Rossetti, one of the pre-Raphaelites. And the woman that lived there was quite, she was a liberal, and she was big in the temperance movement and a feminist, and apparently a contemporary of Rossetti and Wordsworth. So, you know, it's just so fascinating, isn't it? It's wonderful. It's really exciting to think.
Yeah,
You
when you
know,
dig a bit deeper, what you can find.
yeah. But the thing for Chipping Campden was the guilds, that all of those guildsmen coming out of the East End of London with all of those amazing skills. They're, you know, master craftsmen, and they all landed here. So it's quite a big deal. Yeah. It's exciting to work in this creative craft field, but it's amazing.
And reminding us what an exciting place it really always was and still is.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yes. Gosh, well, thank you so much, Sarah, for giving up your time to talk to me. It's been a pleasure. I mean, yes, I live in London, but I hope that I'll be able to come and visit in person.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. Yes, please come. Well, I can send you an invitation for our first show, and you'll really enjoy it. You know, any suggestions for music, for sound?
Gosh, well, yeah, I'd be more than happy if you want my input.
Yeah,
more than
sure.
happy to talk about that anytime. But as soon as I can make it down, then I will do. And maybe just let me know what events you've got planned. And as soon as I can, then I will come and visit. I will come with 2 little children in tow. But
oh, great! Yes. Do well. I know we have Icon. Well, we have a whole 18-month strategy for all of our exhibitions. They're yet to be titled, but I do know we have Icon starting on the 17th of November, and then January and February we have our first pair of artists. And their show is going to be called The Quiet Mind. That's a reflection on the kind of state of the UK and our kind of the challenges that are facing us, and you know, the recession coming, and you know, so it's a look at that. So there'll be some really interesting, obviously beautiful artwork, but some more really interesting content and theme behind that as well. So that's exciting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Well, I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Sarah. Thank you so much for giving up your time.
Thank you.